Welcome to the Nerd Citadel. We're going to talk today, continue our series of our top 5 movies of different genres from the 90s. Chris is joining us live from Hawaii.
Witness protection program. You can't say where I am. Okay, so what we're doing today on the Nerd Citadel is action movies. I don't know if you said that, but I'm saying that now. Hold on. Okay, here's one of the things that happens when you quit smoking is the cilia in your lungs starts to repair and grow in. And what it does is it kind of starts working overtime to get all the gunk in your lungs out. So it makes you cough more than smoking for like a month. And it sucks, bro. Fuck it. Mortal Kombat.
This is favorites, not best.
Yeah, no, not at all. If I were doing the best, this would be a completely different list, and all the movies would be in the 1980s. You all know Mortal Kombat. Think of the first few games where there was zero story and just any excuse to get ninjas punching each other, and that's this movie. The story comes second to really schlocky, over-the-top, charming performances.
This puny mortal will be no problem.
And he does this really cheesy, he's like,
this is where you fall down.
But yeah, that movie, it's corny as hell, it's schlocky as hell. On paper, everything about it should fail, yet it stands out as one of my most beloved and remembered 90s action films. So Chris, you're up.
I need to say Last Action Hero. It's the most meta action movie ever made.
Oh, well, yeah, that's like the entire plot of it. It hinges on being meta.
With it being this whole idea of this kid getting a golden ticket, some go into Jack Slater, the Jack Slater movies. He goes into Jack Slater 4, which is an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, and it just plays into all the classic tropes of action movies. Like, even at the end...
Help! Somebody!
They got Jack! Doctor! Hey, Doc!
What is this, some kind of a joke? I wouldn't even call this a flesh wound. Come on, here, let's get him.
Of course, because the hero never dies.
Charles Stantz plays the villain. You know, every great 90s action movie villain needs some really distinguishing characteristics. So he has a glass eye that, like, sometimes it's a target, sometimes it's a smiley face.
That's awesome.
And Arnold Schwarzenegger also plays Arnold Schwarzenegger in this movie. But one of my favorite things about it is, for those of us who spend too much time thinking about alternate realities, so it answers the question, well, if this is a movie where Arnold Schwarzenegger is one of the characters, then who plays Arnold Schwarzenegger parts in Arnold Schwarzenegger movies? And Sylvester Stallone. Like, he's the Terminator in that world. So
I like it.
Here's another one, Chris.
The Matrix. The Matrix. I know you talked about The Matrix already in your sci-fi thing. Mm-hmm. But The Matrix is still a really standout, really good, fun, weird action film. Before those movies got bogged down with all the outside the Matrix Zion stuff, this was just a weird, freaky action film that just had a lot of cool details underneath the, character stuff. Like Morpheus walking Neo through a simulation and explaining what the Matrix is. And every character in that scene are twins.
The Matrix is a system, Neo. That system is our enemy.
So you have cool shit like that in the background. And then all these cool, fun moments. Morpheus breaking out of the chair after being tortured by the agents and, like, launching himself at a helicopter. Neo Supermaning into an agent, which looks really stupid, and it is really stupid. But I keep talking about it, so how stupid is it really? So you're up.
I have 2 different movies starring
Nicolas Cage.
Con Air. So we got Nick Cage as Cameron Poe in this movie, doing his Nick Cage impression of Nicolas Cage as an action hero. John Cusack as the cop who's trying to like work with him, or FBI agent or whatever it was, or Cyrus the Virus, John Malkovich. I think Machete's in this movie.
Danny Trejo.
Yeah, and this movie presents some of the best one-liners ever.
Put the bunny back in the box. Why couldn't you put the bunny back in the box?
Get off my plane, shitbird.
Wrong movie.
Lots of fun to be had here in not Hawaii. Timecop. Jean-Claude Van Damme and Jean-Claude Van Damme star in this time travel extravaganza where they have to deal with villains, the same villain and the same villain from a different time. There's scarification, people getting cut up, and then eventually someone turns into poo. And he saves his wife at the end of the day. There's a lot of cool intrigue and people getting shot in one time, but then they change the past so that person never got shot. There's double crossing that gets undone. There's all kinds of cool stuff. The movie definitely had a certain style to it that was very typical action.
What you want? You're a bright boy. Why don't you sleep on it? I did that.
But it offered a time travel plot that was kind of different and more fun and unique and a little experimental than a lot of time travel based movies. That, and it's Jean-Claude Van Damme and Jean-Claude Van Damme kicking people.
So Faceoff. Faceoff is unique in that it features both Nicolas Cage and John Travolta, each both playing the hero and the villain.
You have Nicolas Cage
as Nicolas Cage,
who is an insane actor.
Hallelujah! Hallelujah!
And John Travolta, who is a crazy actor.
You good looking. You're hot.
Yes, and they get to play each other.
Yes. Apparently, behind the scenes, the director like made up a bunch of bullshit and that like spread a bunch of rumors. Like he started saying like bad things about Nick Cage and like saying like, yeah, I heard John say that, and
they just want to get them fired up against each other.
Yeah, so that they would do like really over the top bad impressions of each other.
I enjoy the movie because, of course, it's fun for obvious reasons. You have John Travolta and Nicolas Cage playing off of each other, and you have Nicolas Cage playing as the hero pretending to be the villain. And but the question that this movie has always brought up for me is, in the movie, it appears they just have their faces switched. So how is it if they just have their faces switched, they have 2 completely different builds?
That's actually addressed in the movie.
Is it?
Yeah, there's various surgeries done to the other, to themselves to make them appear more as the other.
Okay, but isn't John Travolta also much shorter than Nick Cage?
Yeah, one of them's like easily a foot taller than the other one. One of them is a troll, and the other one is an elf. Yeah, no, there's a lot of suspension of disbelief that goes into this movie. But given that the entirety of the movie is that crazy, it's way easy to just accept.
Right. It's a lot of fun, which is why it makes this list.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. It makes the list, and you get the 2 iconic lines, 2 of my favorite lines from that film.
Eve, I hate to see you go. I love to watch you leave.
And
Peach, I could eat a peach for hours.
Which that's one I should say too. Okay, Terminator 2 Judgment Day, again. I think we've said Terminator 2 each already in other films. But this is the actual best movie of the 90s, in my opinion. I think it is a perfect sci-fi action movie. It's Arnold in his prime. Edward What's-His-Face as John Connor is perfect casting for a kid actor. Linda Hamilton, Sarah Connor, is so fucking hot in that movie.
Good morning, Dr. Silberman. How's the knee?
Oh, mama.
Because she's just like sweating the whole time and she's like gross and kicking ass. Like, this is not the same Sarah Connor that was in the first movie. This one has been preparing for this. And Edward Furlong, he shows up, like the first thing he's doing is like hacking an ATM, which shows that he's tech savvy, which is going to be important later in life for him. And he's a bad kid, which says he has a journey to go on, a character journey to go on from being this rebellious youngster to eventually being the savior of all mankind. Arnold's T-800 has this arc where he goes from, it's just ones and zeros. It's either kill or be killed, whatever needs to be done to protect John Connor and the future. And through learning from John, he learns to value human life, which is something that, Terminators are not supposed to do. But through understanding John Connor and John Connor's human worldview, he himself becomes more human and then is willing to make the ultimate sacrifice. Sarah Connor's character arc in this movie is stellar. She goes from being, a badass version of the woman we saw in the first movie that is willing to, get her hands dirty to protect John, as she gradually gets more radical and is like, oh, well, we have to kill Miles Dyson before he invents Skynet. Towards the end, she's like she has him on the ground and she's going to execute him in front of his family. As Arnold's character becomes more human, she goes down this path where she's becoming less human. And then the whole thing culminates in the theme of there's no fate but what you make. We're in charge of our own fate. Skynet is not destined to happen. Then a bunch of movies came after this that said, no, fuck that. It's all about fate. But yes, this movie is stellar. The T-1000, I still don't remember the effects as aging very well, but I've been told by a few people, Chris, you're wrong. Lord Humongous, you're wrong. But yes, that's a perfect fucking movie. And the actual best movie of the 90s. Go on.
Judge Dredd.
Hey, it's me, Judge Dredd. Hey, yo, how you doing?
Again, like many action movies of the 90s, this isn't necessarily a good movie, but it's a fun movie.
Yes. Who was the supporting character?
Rob Schneider.
It was Rob Schneider?
Yeah.
Oh, that movie immediately loses points on Rob Schneider alone. But the rest of it's really good.
But if I remember correctly, Judge Dredd is the genetic combined clone of all the judges, right? And then his brother,
I think,
all the criminals.
Well, that's just not a good way to make your judges.
Yeah, I think that one of the funny things about this movie is, didn't Sylvester Stallone, wasn't he on high heels the whole time because he's really short?
I'm pretty sure, yes. I'm pretty sure they had him in platform shoes or something like that.
Yeah, because he's very broad, but he's very short.
I am the law!
The image stuck in my head of Rob Schneider hanging onto the back of of that robot that was trying to kill Sylvester Stallone, that also looked like Sylvester Stallone. I think this is unique amongst action movies in that, I know there's a few, but how many future cop movies did we really get?
Chris looks like he's masturbating in the back there. Oh, just gotta come here, Oliver. I got the peanut butter and need you to.
You know what? This is a PG family-friendly program. Okay.
Hey, you know what? It's apparently not considered a federal crime, so Anyway, so my favorite action movie of the 90s is Street Fighter. And this movie is terrible. The acting from everyone except for Raul Julia is terrible. The shot composition is bad. The sound design is bad. The lighting is not that good, and it's bland at best. But god damn it, is this the funniest movie I have ever seen. We have actors who are not good, but they are giving it their all. They're going full out 100%. Also, check out all the like supporting cast, the people in the background, extras. Fuck. Look in the background of any scene. Look at the extras. No one told them what to do, and for the people that did have some direction, they really took it seriously. There's a scene towards the end of the movie where all like the good guy forces are like pushing Bison's surrendered soldiers, like, you know, to the trucks and stuff. And you see like some of these extras take the butt of their rifles and just crack people in the back of the head. And it's like, this, it wasn't Foleyed in. That's real impact. And people are just getting like hit and kicked and shit. Like they're going all out like, this is war. The best part of that movie, Chun-Li, reporter Chun-Li, pops up on a television and is like, Bison, you killed all the people in my village, and now you're gonna pay. And her camera pans over. Her cameraman is E Honda. Apparently, every reporter in this movie is also a kung fu master. He pans over to a van that's loaded with explosives that starts rolling towards the warehouse that they're in. And Zangief has the best line in the movie. He looks and goes,
Quick, change the channel!
There is the one legitimately awesome moment in this movie where Chun-Li is being captured by Bison, and she gives a quick story of how Bison's troops killed like everyone in her village, and Bison has the best comeback any villain has ever said in a movie.
I'm sorry. I don't remember any of it.
You don't remember?
For you, the day Bison graced your village was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday.
That is like actually a really awesome villain line, and it perfectly defines his character. The movie's stupid. He ends up shooting lightning for no reason. He and Guile and Rhiannon, whoever the hell is the main character supposed to be, they fight in a computer room and then they blow up Bison. They have like the big end where they all do their classic video game poses before the credits. And then there's a post-credit scene in this goddamn movie. This movie is garbage to the max, and it has the balls to have a post-credit scene where you see the rubble of Bison's lab, and you just see his hand come out of the rubble and make a fist. And I'm like, the gall of these people. And I want that sequel. So anyway, you're up.
So my last one is Die Hard in Space. I mean, The Fifth Element. So we got Bruce Willis as Corbin Dallas and Mila Jovovich as Lilo. We don't know how old she is, presumably thousands of years old. They find her in an Egyptian sarcophagus along with the four elements that are supposed to be some ancient weapon that can defeat an evil that rises every 5,000 years. As we find out later in the movie, she's the fifth element.
A good pipe laying as the fifth element.
We got Gary Oldman in this movie, who, Gary Oldman's one of the greatest character actors ever born.
And Jean-Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg is one of the best characters put to film.
And we also have Chris Tucker in this movie for no apparent reason.
Come on, man. You gotta stop this, right? Corbin?
Ruby Rod, whatever. is one of the most annoying characters ever put to film. You want to know something I really like about that movie that I've never seen since? You have your protagonist, which is Corbin Dallas. Gary Oldman is the antagonist of the movie. He might not be like the final boss, but he's the antagonistic force of the movie.
Yeah, definitely.
They never meet in that movie. They are never in the same room, ever. They never even know the other exists. They just do things that inhibit the other.
I have to give this movie a lot of credit for the effects. It still holds up pretty well.
It does a good job. There's a lot of good practical effects done in this movie.
I love the way they do the scenes with him like jumping from flying car to flying car.
Yeah, they're well done. The scenes are well done. I give this movie a lot of flack, but I do look back on it fondly. There are just a handful of really dumb moments in it for me. Like when the murder planet shoots a flaming human skull out of it. Don't you think it's weird when you have these like multi-thousand-year-old gods that like hook up with like a random dude? You know those big hunkin' armadillo aliens? She's from their DNA. This thing went from being a giant robot turtle to Mila Jovovich.
A smaller robot turtle. One I have to mention as an honorable mention, I wasn't sure whether or not this could count as an action movie. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Secret of the Ooze, which is one of the most fun movies ever. It opens with one of the turtles using cold cut like salami as nunchucks, and one of them replacing one of those, you know, the clowns that you can like poke and they fall and they bounce back up.
Oh yeah, they weeble, they wobble, but they never fall down.
Yeah, exactly.
Weeble wobbles.
He one of the turtles masquerades as one of those, and when the Foot Clan guy comes up, he just like pushes him and he falls down and comes up with a like a little like wiffle ball bat and hits him with it. That movie's just great slapstick comedy. And then you get Super Shredder at the end.
Oh yeah, that is the Super Shredder one.
Yeah. And
don't they like drop him?
Razor and Toka.
Was it the first one or this one where they kill Shredder by dropping him into a trash compactor?
That's the first one. And this one he comes back and all he has is a scar on his face.
It's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mean, honestly, what do you expect? But like,
yes, and the suits were built by Jim Henson, wasn't it?
I remember the ending of that first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie with them dropping Shredder into like a trash compactor and being horrified. Just something about that, like something in my little kid brain awoke and was like, holy shit, people die. Am I gonna die?
Jim Henson designed the costumes for the Turtles. Yeah, and Power Rangers, which, you know, as a young kid in the 90s, you are convinced is a good movie.
Oh my God. That's another one where it's like, for me, I see that and I look back on it.
And you just get happy.
I get happy. And I think it's the nostalgia goggles doing most of the work. But at the same time, I'm like, no, I remember most of this garbage. Like, it was a really bad movie. But like,
it was fun. It was lots of fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Pretty much like the end was stupid. When Ivan Ooze merged with his robot, I'm like, that. I think that's just when the movie went to straight garbage. But everything before that was like stupid in a fun way.
But the Rangers get like a cool like makeover to PVC armor.
Yeah, they do. They go from nylon and friggin' paper mache to, you know, plastic.
Yeah, so just summing up, we hope you guys check out some of these movies. They're some of our favorites. We know they're not all particularly good, but you will be entertained. Next time, I think it'll be time to do comic book movies, which is most appropriate for this channel.
Yeah, comic books. Comic books are cool, and so is reading. Kids, you should stay in school. I hope you're taking e-classes and not watching this during school time hours, because you gotta feed your brain.
You shouldn't put this on a loop while you're doing your schoolwork, so we get lots of watch hours.
Yeah, we need to get some more watch hours. We want.
Actually, I don't even think that counts if they do that, but it doesn't matter.
Well, fuck them. I appreciate YouTube, but god damn it, stop hurting us, the little guys.
You just messed up our whole ending.
Oh, sorry. Well, end of the day, kids, when you're in your e-school and all that stuff, also don't forget to wash your hands for 20 seconds.
And like, comment, and subscribe.
And like, comment, and subscribe if you also use some Purell. Wear a mask if you go anywhere. And don't trust what people put on Facebook, because most of it is bullshit.
Sanitize both before and after you ring that bell.
Yes, smash that bell down there-ish. And be sure you stay up to date on all the nerdy stuff we're going to be talking about next. But he's Chris, and I'm Lord Humongous, and that's the Nerd Citadel. Just walk away.